Greetings everyone, I'm Clara Nikita Aritonang from Bandung Institute of Technology, and in this given time I'll present to you my research entitled User Subjective Well-Being on Self-Paced E-Learning, the Influence of Personal and E-Learning Factors. So as an overview, this research covered Chapter 1 to 5 from Introduction, Literature Review, Methodology, Data Analysis, and Conclusions. So, this research begins from phenomena of rapid growth in educations experienced by the society during the pandemic era, where the learning system transformed from conventional learning to e-learning. Data from Global Market Insight captured the market size of e-learning had risen to $399.3 billion in 2022 and projected a CAGR of 14% from 2023 to 2032. UNESCO also endorsed e-learning solutions as a means of addressing the disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic in education. As the demand increased due to extensive lockdown, several e-learning platforms become popular in Indonesia, which are Ruang Guru, Coursera, Google Classroom, Udemy, and Duolingo. With the growth of technology and adaptation to environment, e-learning systems are developing, and one of the popular systems is self-paced e-learning, which encompasses flexibility, cost-effective, and individual assessment, further expected to have impact on individual subjective well-being. However, research by Mediana has shown that 28.3% children who are studying at home may experience stress and facing challenges in learning due to the lack of metacognitive skill in self-regulated learning. With the ideal concept of self-paced e-learning, enhanced effectiveness, and positive well-being, the reality implies otherwise. Therefore, the impact of self-paced e-learning towards users' subjective well-being remain inconclusive and studied further in this research. This research aimed on two objectives: to determine the personal factor and e-learning factor that are considered for customer in using self-paced e-learning and its effect toward subjective well-being. Scope and limitation include self-paced e-learning users in Indonesia from all age group, with data collection in March 2023 results in confounding effect of pandemic in the collected data. In literature review, the concept of self-paced e-learning further explained. First, we had to understand the definition of e-learning and self-paced e-learning. E-learning is a learning approach with synchronous and asynchronous settings. A self-paced e-learning is a form of e-learning that offers flexibility, which you can learn at your own pace in your own space, cost-effective, savings on travel cost and time, customization, you can choose your preferred content, technology utilization, broad access of information and also supportive interface design, and experiential learning, which is action-oriented, where allows learner action towards the learning content. This research utilized self-determination theory by Deci and Ryan, as it revolved around the human motivation and well-being, moreover on intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. For subjective well-being, we refer to the research by Diner. It is a self-assessed indicator based on personal perception on overall happiness and satisfactions. Subjective well-being encompasses cognitive judgment, such as life satisfaction, and affective appraisal, which is emotional response of positive and negative. Therefore, this is the conceptual framework, consists of personal factors and e-learning factors as independent variables and subjective well-being as dependent variables. In this research, we use qualitative approach. Here is the research flow chart as presented, starting from problem identification to literature review, research approach, qualitative data collection, qualitative data analysis, and conclusions. So for a qualitative method, in-depth semi-structured interview is conducted by asking these 7 questions. Target our respondents with criteria of self-paced e-learning users in Indonesia and age above 20 years old. Sampling techniques used is proposed sampling. Further, qualitative data is analyzed with manual color coding, resulted in 18 color-coded keywords. Personal factors obtain 8 keywords, meanwhile learning factors obtain 10 keywords. Discussing on the result of qualitative data, based on 12 respondents, self-paced e-learning customers are students and workers. Majority of respondents express satisfaction on self-paced e-learning, but few also dissatisfied. However, overall experience are beneficial and make them feel fulfilled. Now, referring to the motivation as in self-determination theory, self-paced e-learning user had diverse of motivation. During interview, majority of respondents expect to achieve desired outcome after using self-paced e-learning. Calculated 6 respondents have mandatory goals, including graduating, passing their classes, and professional development that motivated them to use self-paced e-learning. In other cases, with offered course and learning system by self-paced e-learning, it raises their own self-interest. Moreover, self-need of certification and skills enhancement also motivated users, with some had self-branding purposes. Now discussing on the platform and courses in self-paced e-learning, few aspects arise in interview. With a total of 10 keywords collected, all are classified into 2 groups, course aspect and platform aspect. This covered more on platform aspect. Time flexibility in self-paced e-learning is considered as beneficial. Respondents also emphasized that clear learning sequence in self-paced e-learning increase positive emotions as it guides learners in the learning process. Aside from that, brand popularity had effect on users, in which well-known brand will instill users' trust to use self-paced e-learning. Also mentioned by the respondent, UI/UX design of self-paced e-learning influence users' emotions. Interesting design increase pleasant emotions, while uninteresting design potentially diminishes motivation to learn. Several respondents also emphasize on how progress notifications helps to hold them accountable. Moreover, on self-paced learning, providing a learning validation in the form of certification and broad access on information, users considered to use self-paced learning because it enhances positive emotions and satisfaction in learning. Now investigate on the course aspect. Course descriptions is essential as interesting course descriptions attract their users. Creative and concise content also increase desire to use self-paced learning, added by rating and reviews in self-paced learning courses, in which result in enhanced users' trust. So, as conclusion in this research, all insights are briefly stated. Refer to self-determination theory and subjective well-being. With the rising of self-paced learning in Indonesia, the relationship between self-paced learning and subjective well-being encompass both personal and e-learning factors. In personal factors, it involves self-control, self-efficacy, and e-learning motivation that affect the user's subjective well-being. Moreover, on e-learning motivation, it includes on self-branding, output expectation, mandatory goal, self-interest, self-need for skill enhancement, and self-need for certification. In e-learning factors, it encompasses on course aspect and platform aspect, which course aspect covers on course descriptions, ratings and reviews, and curated content, whereas the platform aspect includes on UI UX design, time flexibility, clear learning sequence, well-known brand, learning validation, progress notification, and broad access of information. So that's conclude all of my research presentation. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a good day.